Welcome to another episode of Marketing Tips for Doctors. I'm your host, Dr. Barbara Hales. Today, we have with us the founder of Body Confidence Wellness. Justine Hales is a body confidence and well-being coach, an online fitness instructor, and in addition to that, promotes healthy products to achieve optimal wellness. Justine provides women with body confidence and well-being coaching packages with a safe and fun environment to exercise together online, allowing for working out in the comfort of your own home. What I'd like to announce is this is the 100th episode. Yay! Welcome to the show, Justine.
Thank you for having me.
Justine, many people have wondered probably, what is your background experience that brought you to develop this business?
Well, thank you again for interviewing me today and inviting me. And I'm very, very excited to be number 100. So thank you very much. And just to address the elephant in the room, yes, we are related. So what brought me to Body Confidence Wellness? Well, I developed it over the last couple of years. And my background, my most recent background was being the owner manager of a Curves Fitness for Women gym. So for those listeners who aren't familiar with Curves Fitness for Women, it's a women's only fitness franchise. It's a ladies only gym. Started in the US and franchises all over Europe, the UK, internationally. It's got a very large presence in Japan. So I got very heavily involved in women's fitness as the owner manager of the Curves gym. And it was there that I worked with over 500 different women with different physical abilities, different goals, different shapes and sizes, all different reasons for being there. But ultimately, what I discovered in having conversations and coaching all of these women was that generally we all just want to feel good. And my career I took a little bit of a career break when I decided to sell my franchise. And I was still more or less on that career break when all things changed in March 2020. So I don't know if you remember or if the listeners remember, but March 2020, the world changed for pretty much everyone. And as I was still on that career break at the time, I kind of thought, well, what can I do at home and how can I still reach people and help people from online? And that's when I decided to become an online fitness instructor. So I, upgraded my Zoom account, started putting some fitness classes online, and the ladies started coming, and they still do. And that's what made me an online fitness instructor. And when I was looking back at all of my time and my experience at Curves and the various different opportunities I had coaching ladies at Curves, I realized that it really wasn't just the exercise that I loved and working with women on that physical body level. And that's when I discovered the Institute for Body Confidence Coaching run by Astrid Longhurst. And I became certified as a body confidence and well-being coach, and then added all of that into my services.
What is body confidence and wellness coaching?
Well, body confidence and well-being coaching works on 4 principles of the holistic body. So you've got the physical body, the emotional body, the mental body, and the soul or the spiritual body. And it's a way of looking at our bodies in that really holistic way and connecting not only the physical side of our bodies, but connecting the physical to the mental, emotional, and soul body. So really working from the outside in, inside out with our whole bodies.
So tell me more about the 4 pillars. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, of course. So, very, very much work with the 4 pillars, as I said, is the physical body, the emotional body, mental body, and soul body. And really what it is connecting, as I said, the inside, outside, outside, inside. So obviously you've got the physical body that you see when you look at yourself in the mirror, and what you're working on when you're doing physical activity and exercise. But the mental body is very much about our mental outlook and our mental view of ourselves and the way that we present ourselves to the world. Emotional body is very much more internal, then, about your emotions and your feelings and your thoughts and your behaviors. Again, how we think and view ourselves, presenting ourselves to the world. And our soul body is very much about, you know, our spirituality and our feelings, and the connection that we have to our own bodies and the world and our environment outside of our own bodies.
I've noticed that you run standalone workshops as well as coaching programs. Can you tell me more about that?
Yes, of course. So with Body Confidence Wellness, my business, I have the fitness classes, the coaching programs, and with the coaching programs, I work with women both on a one-to-one basis and in groups and standalone workshops. So with the standalone workshops, it's the opportunity for people to get to know me and how I work, and a little bit of a taster about what Body Confidence and Wellbeing Coaching is. And if they really just want a little bit of a top up of their own self-care. So a lot of the workshops that I do, the standalone workshops, are very much about self-care tools and tips and sharpening the tools for your self-care toolkit. So for example, one of the workshops is called The Language of Self-Care and Body Confidence, and it's all about affirmations and the way that we talk to and about ourselves. Another workshop I have is called Clearing Your Own Energy Blocks. So it's very much about learning different energy systems within our bodies, particularly a beginner's view to the chakras and color. And then we do a really beautiful meditation on clearing your own energy blocks. So at the end of these workshops, you come away with a tool that you can use yourself anytime, any place, anytime you really need to have that bit of a top up.
I've seen on your social media that you talk about woo in business. What does this mean, woo? And how can you become more woo? And is that even a good thing?
Well, yes. I mean, so for your listeners, I don't know if everybody knows the term of woo woo, but you know, the whole idea of woo or woo woo is very much about, you know, kind of spiritual work, adding spirituality and spiritual work into your life and into your business. And a lot of people, they sometimes hear woo and they think, oh, you know, that's not for me and I'm not woo or anything like that. But literally for me, on the most basic level, it's just being grateful. It's expressing gratitude. It's having affirmations. It's just having some kind of spiritual connection to yourself and your internal and external world. So the way I added woo into my business was very much accepting and adopting meditation practices, and also through Reiki. So I'm a Reiki master level 3 Reiki practitioner, and one of the workshops that I do is a guided meditation and Reiki healing session. Reiki is something that's become very, very important to myself, my personal practices, my business practices, and again, something that was developed and practiced a lot in the last couple of years. So definitely something that was one of my coping mechanisms through the pandemic, and something that I'm very, very excited and in love with sharing with the world.
So for our listeners, many of whom are physicians and wellness professionals, they may be thinking, listen, you know, the work that I do is, you know, scientific. This woo-woo business is not something that pertains to me at all. But in fact, it does two things, as you mentioned. The first is getting in touch with oneself and being more at peace and serenity, so that you can then engage with your patients and give more of yourself, and be able to then be more in touch with your empathy.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
also it helps with a work life balance, because it is, again, giving you more peace and more serenity.
Absolutely.
So tell me, what are some tips the listeners can take away to boost their body confidence and well-being, which also, in addition to professionals needing to create a sense of better well-being, they also can use this information to help their patients with their body confidence?
Yeah, absolutely. Like there's a lot in that question. So and also I'll kind of circle back to your previous comment about marketing with the medical professionals. So one really easy tip is about gratitude journaling and affirmations. So, I think a lot of times people hear affirmations and they think, oh, affirmations don't work because, it's somebody else's words, or I don't really believe the things that I'm saying and everything like that. And I'm very much somebody who used to view affirmations in that way. What I've learned, and something that I help to teach and practice with myself and share with others, is about writing your own affirmations. Because when you write your own affirmations and you're using your own words with your own thoughts, it definitely becomes a lot more believable. And they don't really have to be very long either. So I've kind of broken down writing your own affirmations into a couple of really small steps. So you start, it's in three parts. So you start with either I am, I feel, I believe, I want, I wish, something really short like that. And then you've got your kind of your action word, and then you've got your tense. So you can say, so the tense would be right now or in the future kind of thing. So, I am strong right now. It's really short, but it's your words. You've put those structure together. You chose those pieces. So saying it over and over is really, really believable. I want to be successful today. I am successful right now. Saying these things when it's your own words and breaking it down just into those three pieces really helps and makes it really very believable. And coming up with those things first thing in the morning and kind of just having them in your head throughout the day really, really helps. So that's one of what I would think to be quite an easy tip. The other is expressing gratitude. So just, waking up in the morning and saying 3 to 5 things that you feel grateful for. And the easiest way of just centering yourself. And again, this is like for people who think, oh, I don't do woo, I don't do spiritual, and this is, out there for me or whatever. Literally 2 minutes in the day, just close your eyes, take 3 deep breaths in and out, 3 to 5 breaths in and out, just center yourself into the present moment. Open your eyes, take a pen and paper, and write 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. And that could literally just be, I'm grateful the sun is shining. I'm grateful there's food in the fridge. I'm grateful I have new shoes. I don't know, like just, just anything, and then just have that in the day. And then just kind of circling back to what you said previously about using these as marketing tips as well, and using them in your own practice and with your patients, is when you're writing social media posts and when you're writing blogs, or when you're writing a follow-up text, or when you're about to dial a follow-up call or anything like that, is again just to kind of center yourself with those 3 to 5 deep breaths. Write down 1 or 2 affirmations, write down 1 or 2 pieces of gratitude, and then write your social media post, then write your blog post, then, pick up the phone and do your follow-up call. Because once you've put yourself in that really beautifully centered, grateful, happy place, then anything you type, anything you write, anything you text, any number you're about to dial, you kind of have that that feeling that you're then going to convey into your message, and your patients and your readers will feel that.
That's really a great idea. Now, some people also may be thinking, wow, I am trying to promote myself more in my medical practice, and here is this really successful person who founded an entire business during the pandemic. Could you tell our listeners how it is that you marketed or promoted yourself to become so successful overnight?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say that I became hugely successful overnight. I mean, nothing happens overnight. Things take work and practice. But social media, word of mouth, lots of networking. I do a lot of networking, a lot of business networking, all online, a little bit back in person now that we're, able to do things in person, but still very much staying online with business networking and with social media. I'm in a coaching group, I'm in a mentoring group. So it's just very much about connections, planting seeds and nurturing those seeds and doing everything to have those seeds grow. And, I appreciate that not everybody wants to hear that things take time, but things do take time. But you have to be consistent and keep that positive energy whilst germinating your seeds.
Well, that's really very interesting, and it's been very helpful. Thank you so much for being on our show today.
Thank you for having me.
This has been another episode of Marketing Tips for Doctors with your host, Dr. Barbara Hales. Till next time. So, Justine, our listeners are, I'm sure, very interested in what you had to say. How can they get in touch with you?
Oh, thank you so much for asking. So I'm on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, and I have a website. So Facebook and Instagram is both at Body Confidence Wellness. The website is bodyconfidencewellness.co.uk, and you can find me on LinkedIn by my name. I'm Justine Hales. And for the first 10 people who get in touch with me by any of my social media channels, you can have a discount code for either one of my standalone workshops in January or February, or you can try out my fitness classes.
That's great. So I would like to point out two things for our listeners. The first is that it's not .com, it's .co. The M is left out because you are speaking to us from the United Kingdom.
I am indeed.
And the information like the code and all of the social media URLs will be in our show notes.
Thank you so much.